I spent all my money on tools. And I either need to sell all my tools, which I really don't want to do, or I need to become a professional woodworker, which I've always wanted to do. The choice is simple. Ikimashou. Let's go! Before this bench, there was chaos. No flat surface, no order, just sawdust and occasional electrical fire. But everyone knows to build anything great, a home, a family, a dream, a workbench, you need a foundation that doesn't wobble. This is the story of building mine. Some cursing, some blood, but mostly it's pure enjoyment. Could anyone build this workbench? As long as you got a drill and a saw and the will, absolutely. How much did it cost me? Around 2,300 kroner, or 230 bucks, which is 20 bucks cheaper than my wobbly steel-legged bench from Vevor. Also, my vacuum dies pretty spectacularly, and my 1-year-old son Max lends a hand. Let's get into it. I wanted a clean look, no screws in sight, so I cut Dados at the top and bottom of each leg, locking them behind the frame. In the EU, dado blades are banned for table saws, safety laws, but CMT makes one for industrial use. But mine didn't arrive in time, so I scored the Dados with my 80-tooth 2.8mm kerf CMT blade. Slow, yes, but paired with the chisel and some sandpaper, perfect fit. Turned out just the way I wanted. It took me a few tries to find some lag bolts here in Sweden. That is until I learned the name. Front skruvar, or French screws. Now it was coming together. I clamped the legs to the frame, squared them up as best I could. Then I grabbed a 30mm Forstner bit to countersink the bolts. Underneath that, 6mm bit, 70mm deep, followed by an 8mm to make room for the bolt threads. Too excited, I over-tightened one. So I took it out, added a couple of scrap strips, and retightened it in, and it held just fine. The moment of truth, taking the top frame, dropping it down onto the legs. To my relief, it was a perfect fit. Then it was time to screw it all together. 36 lag bolts, or French screws in total. Oh. Check it out, almost done. I forgot to film this part, but I picked up 4 adjustable casters from Vevor. The wheel diameter is 1.5 inch. It's the smallest one you could get, but it's the only one they had in stock. But they work pretty good. Now things are getting real. This was the most challenging part of the whole build, or the most intimidating rather. So what I wanted to do was create an adjustable platform using M16 rods and bolts. And to do that, I was going to use 12mm or 1/2 inch plywood for the table saw to sit on. But I realized that would be way too flimsy, so I decided to reinforce it with some pine strips, 45 by 45mm. But even that was too flimsy, so I decided to grab these leftover wall brackets that we had from the move, cut them up, and embed them into the pine. And I glued it up with some multi-bonds. Okay. Gotta pick the kids up from school. Whoa. God. Yeah, let's do it. You ready? 本日はカット終わった後、ために完璧って聞こえるで本物やね。Maybe it's just the Japanese in me. I'm a bit biased, but I really love this Makita miter saw. It's so smooth you can cut a sushi roll with it. I didn't realize how hard it would be to drill a straight hole with a 16mm auger bit. It started off fine, and then it just started going to the left and the left and the left, and it turned out about 15 degrees to the left. But I continued on with the rest, and I made sure to use reference blocks so that I could ensure that I was going straight down the whole way. Took my time, and the rest of them turned out good. But when it came time to put the table saw platform onto the rods, I definitely had to hit it with a mallet a couple times to get it down. But all in all, it worked out, and it didn't matter so much in the end that it wasn't so straight.
It fits. It fits. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome too. You can really see it now.
Here I forgot the camera was recording, and it filmed about 1 hour of me just talking to myself and measuring, because I wanted to get the tabletop to fit perfectly flush with the sides of the table saw. But before I could attach the tabletop, I realized I needed to cut some Dados into the sides of the frame to allow the table saw fence to slide through freely.
Shit. I forgot about this.
For the tabletop, I used 2 layers of 12mm birch plywood. After cutting the first layer to fit around the table saw, I pre-drilled, countersink, and added some multi-bond, screwed it down. Once it was level, I glued on the second layer with wood glue. But only after everything was installed did I realize I didn't need that big triangular cutout for the riving knife release. The handle pulls out just fine from underneath. Only the bottom layer needed the notch. Few moments in my life have been more satisfying than dialing in these bolts and getting the table saw perfectly flush with the bench. It was like that first bite of Grace Papaya hot dog, like finding a parking spot in Manhattan on the first try, like the sun finally breaking through after 100 days of Swedish winter, like the birth of my son. It was the pinnacle of my earthly existence, perfection, pure, radiant, cosmic alignment. And then I realized I forgot to pick up the kids from preschool. In all seriousness though, finishing this workbench was pretty dang sweet. And having my son Max put on the finishing touches, even sweeter. So, it took me about 2 weeks and a couple hours a day to finish this workbench, and I couldn't be happier with it. It's a huge upgrade from working on the floor. I made some plans for it. I just figured if anyone's interested and they want to build something similar, well, you can avoid the mistakes that I made. And remember, whatever you're building, stay logum and don't skip your vigas.
Team find.
High five. Oh yeah, again. Oh yeah, let's build this cycle and separator.
Yay!
Yeah.